Live from Indianapolis, Indiana. Welcome to the Crossroads Sports Radio Show, presented by Scott K. Nichols and State Farm Insurance. And now, here's your hosts, Brandon Reef and Jonathan Birdsong.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Crossroads Sports Radio, episode number 134. I'm your host, Brandon Reef, joined as always by my man, Jonathan Birdsong. JB, we are live on the radio, internet radio, and also Facebook Live simulcast again this evening. How are you, my guy?
I'm doing all right, man. We're doing a whole lot of technological things, man. I'm impressed by what we're doing, man. I also can't wait to deep dive in what we got to talk about tonight. So give us a rundown.
Yeah, absolutely. We've got a big night this evening. We've got some NBA talk. Obviously, the NBA Finals getting close to the end now. We got Game 5 coming up on this Friday night. We've got head coaching news from around the league as well. An update on the Indiana Pacers and their possible coach situation. We've got the NFL talk, John. Week 4 in the books. Took a little bit. We had 2 games on Monday night. And then the fact that we might not have a few more games this week. Possible. There's so much going on. We got the Indianapolis Colts game. Huge game against the rival Bears that they just had. Danny Bridges said, I thought you two were kicked off here last week for having me on. Not yet, Danny. We have not been kicked off. John, we got a little bit of college football talk. I think the Big 12's in trouble, but they have a get-right week. And I'll say that in a little bit. The get-right week is coming. Major League Baseball playoffs. I got to take a minute for my Reds, who just got thumped royally. Couldn't hit the ball. Couldn't even score a run against the Atlanta Braves. So
Brandon, if you're from Indiana, why do the Cubs are out, the Reds are out, who else is out? The Indians are out. Do you really, if you're from Indiana, do you really care about Major League Baseball right now? I know the Yankees fans.
Well, if you're my father, my father's a Cardinals fan. So they went out with that. But it's I don't know. It's postseason baseball, man. That's all we got to worry about. Atlanta, I guess, is the next closest.
Right. It's been trying to find somebody to hit your wagon to.
Right.
It's been a good postseason, man, and it's kind of pulled sportsman fan base. You know what I'm saying? Pull them apart. What you gonna watch? You gonna watch the baseball tonight, or the afternoon, or you gonna watch basketball? You know what I'm saying? So it kind of pulls you in different directions, man. It's competitive. That's the darn sure for viewership. What I kind of liked about it, Brandon, to be honest with you, man, is like the Houston Astros are on a mission to prove that, you know what I'm saying, their whole team fiasco was, there's just fiasco. So, I don't know, man. I know we'll talk a little bit more about it later on the show, but Major League Baseball, as they got through their season, God bless them. Right. The playoffs are here, and like I said, they've been exciting.
Right. I'm supposed to ask you, you do not have a Pittsburgh Steelers hat on, correct?
Pittsburgh Steelers? For what?
You don't have a hat on, like a baseball cap to the Steelers on, correct?
No, I don't. Why would I have such?
It was asked. Danny asked because in the video right now I have my Pittsburgh Steelers hat on, so he was questioning if you had one on as well.
Man, you're the Steelers fan.
Yeah, well, we got NASCAR, interesting, and then IndyCar as well from this past weekend. But NASCAR, Talladega, always an interesting race, and that was a hell of a finish. We'll talk about, and then John, we can't stop in, and you got WWE and a little bit of WWE, I guess, if there's any news really. The drafts this week, which they don't even know what the hell they're doing with that, but we'll get to that in a bit. But also then, John, Walking Dead. We finally had the season 10 finale of Walking Dead, a preview of 11, and this new spinoff show that I finally watched today. So we got all that and more. And we got 7 o'clock. 7 o'clock, my guy, Tanner Penrod, buddy of mine, went to Ball State University. Chirp, chirp, another Ball State alum, John. He'll be joining us at 7 o'clock to kind of talk a little bit of sports gambling. He's my sports gambling guy with me. Me and him go back and forth. Some of the stuff that he likes, some of his plays. Also, John, you get to pick his brain a little bit. He's a big WWE or big wrestling guy, I'll say as well. Not as big as Fred,
Okay.
not as big as Fred, but then also
I got
he is a big Yankees fan. So whatever you got Yankees takes on him, you can give him away to him.
I'm gonna ask up.
So
But
yeah, definitely a love.
whatever you want to start out.
Go ahead.
I said whatever you want to start out with first.
Yeah, man. Let's start straight off with the NBA. I mean, that's the hottest thing right now in the league. NBA Finals, Los Angeles Lakers up 3-1 now in the Miami Heat. Thanks for participating, Miami. We figured they'd get one good game.
Wow.
Jimmy Butler had one good game. I'm about calling him Jimmy Buffett. Had one good game where he scored his 40. They just don't have the talent, John, with all these injuries and the players. They don't have the talent to hang with the Lakers for a series. We talked about one game, 2 games hanging in there. But it was just delayed. Listen, it's got to be over Friday. I'm going to put a Brandon Reef guarantee that this series is over Friday night because it was just announced a few seconds ago. Lakers will be wearing the Kobe Mamba jerseys Friday night, and you know damn well they're going to close it out with those.
Well, I don't want us to glaze over Jimmy Butler's performance, the triple double, the 40 points triple double that he put together. That's it's going to go down as definitely one of his best games, but it's actually one of the more historical playoff performances ever. You know, nobody had the Miami Heat picked in this, and if we go back and listen to episode whatever when we was talking about who was going to be where as far as the East was concerned, nobody had the Miami Heat here. You bring up a great point about they don't have the ponies. They got the ponies, I think, Brandon. They just don't have the poise. How about that? With Bam Adebayo and Tyler Hero and even Duncan Robinson, these guys are kind of, fresh into the fire, right? But they don't in Miami, in that culture down there, they don't use excuses just because you're a rookie or just because this is your first time after G League, you know what I'm saying, whatever. They don't use that as an excuse, man. So, are they? If you had the crystal ball, are they kind of like a player away from making things like hard for anybody, like real hard, like this would push it to 7? And I'm not saying that player is out because Jordan Rodgers is out. You know what I'm saying? If Rodgers was playing, the Miami Heat would look a little bit better, but they still would be all Lakers. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You can kind of see what the Lakers do. The Lakers defensively. Even think back with Denver, the Lakers defensively can make stops anytime they get engaged. Anytime they are engaged, they make stops. Anthony Davis is like a wall. He's like the Great Wall of China back there, man. He blocks left-handed. He blocks right-handed. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't matter. Seemingly, and like I said, between him and LeBron, they eat up the boards. Between him and LeBron, they eat up the boards. The kooky thing with the Lakers, Brandon, is offensively. Like they don't run everything always, like they don't play it to their strength. It's the kookiest thing, man. Like yesterday's game, Morris twin and was making plays where like off LeBron. I was like, what? This is like late in the shot clock, 7 seconds, 8 seconds late in the shot clock. They got the ball in the hands of the Morris twin instead of like LeBron or Anthony Davis. So, but they still are talented enough between those two individuals that to play through any type of bad play. You know what I'm saying? Offensively, man. Right. They're that talented.
And Kadavius Caldwell-Pope playing better. I won't say he's playing well because a lot of people are all over him on a good way on Twitter. Well, I was dragging him through the mud because I think for the series, John, every 3-pointer I've seen, he's damn near missed every single one of them. I think he's like 5 for 39 or 5 for 30 something. Check it, but. He's just every shooting 3 he shoots, he's bricking. Now he hit that key one in the corner last night, which was key. And he hit a big 2-pointer as well. So you're getting good role players that are starting to step up for LA when they need it. John, I've noticed from this series, and I think you'll agree as well. You've watched all of LeBron's series, NBA Finals matchups. I've watched all of his matchups. To me, in this one, it's a lot easier for him to pick and Fred, we'll get you on here in a moment. I see you on there, buddy. We'll get you on right. He's picking and choose. He gets to pick and choose when he wants to step up in those key moments. Where in the past with Miami or Cleveland, he didn't get that opportunity to pick and choose when he wanted to step in and be offensively driven or defensively driven. And this, it seems like
Mhm.
it's easier for him to pick and choose his spots. Obviously, you have Anthony Davis. But number one, I do want to say the LeBron James haters out there, and there's plenty of you. The fact that I'm already hearing some of them saying, well, he hasn't earned this one because Anthony Davis is there. Well, we've talked in previous shows, John, that it takes more than one person to win an NBA championship. We've seen that. We even seen it back when LeBron was against the Warriors. But you can't discredit this man possibly getting ready to win his fourth championship, because you know what? I don't hear anybody discrediting Steph Curry when he won his championship, when he went out and brought in Kevin Durant. You don't hear people discredit that at all, right? Why is it LeBron? Why does LeBron got to get discredited for winning a title if he brings in Anthony Davis, but they won't discredit Stephen Curry for bringing in Kevin Durant when he did? It's the same thing.
So you're saying Durant's already discredited?
I'm not saying. I mean, listen, Durant made a business decision. He wanted to win a championship, but I'm just saying there's a lot of people are trying to say, well, LeBron didn't earn this one. Well, he didn't earn it. What are you talking about?
Right. It's the culture that fans and the basketball players themselves have kind of created. LeBron grew up idolizing who? Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant. He grew up looking at that. They always, but what if people like me and you've always said, or people that debate on Facebook or Twitter always said, if you don't win a ring, your career is insignificant. Not that Charles Barkley's career is insignificant. There's no way, right? You know what I'm saying? But even then, they laugh and joke about, well, Charles, you never won one. But still Charles Barkley is one of the greatest players you ever seen. I promise you.
Right.
But like I said, man, LeBron James, the way he does things, you might not like it. When somebody gets power, you're not gonna like it the way they run things. If I had the power of the NBA, nobody would like it the way I ran it. They would. You know what I'm saying? So.
Yep. All right, John, we're gonna bring our boy on real quick here from the KFAB Connection, Fred Fellner. Fred, my guy, how are you?
Oh man, I'm just putting laundry away and listening to this conversation, man. I was like, whoo, can I chime in real quick?
Absolutely.
Can you tag me in? Oh man, it's like, okay. Me and Bird go back, and a lot of our conversations, I think, lean towards like we're kind of that age and like kind of in that era now of like we're the old dudes like judging the new era of basketball. I guess I don't want to call us old, but relatively speaking. And it's just like it used to be such a knockout, drag out, physical league. Big men mattered. It wasn't about shooting 800 3-pointers, and it's like the NBA is like a 3-point shootout now. Like it's arcade basketball, and it's hard to say that without coming off as being labeled as a hater. And you're like, oh, well, you're just. It's like, no, man. Like, and things change, but man, basketball is just in a sad state. Like, and cool, like they're gonna win it for Kobe in the AU NBA Finals, right?
Oh man,
the rec league finals, like cool, like, but man, it's pretty sad right now. Like basketball to me, and I'm a hoops fan. I'm looking at my NBA Jam arcade cabinet right now. I'm a hoops fan.
Right.
It's so aggravating as a basketball purist and like enthusiast and like a historian, somebody that just studies the game and loves it with a passion. It's just so deflating. It kind of sucks. Like I gotta be honest.
Well, I don't know. The NBA had to make a business decision to protect the product. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's where the change of physical basketball turned into freedom of movement. So the NBA generates billions and billions of dollars worldwide. We know this, right? You can't generate that money if you don't have, listen, Fred, I know, I'm not saying I'm totally I'm on board with this new NBA, okay, as far as the rules are concerned. I think there should have been a happy medium as far as like hand checking, because I'm a fan, I'm a proponent. I like it. You know what I'm saying? I like hand checking, right? You know what I'm saying? It makes I don't necessarily like hard. I don't like hard fouls, but like now fouls are if you brush up against me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's the foul.
Jersey.
But like I said, I think they had to protect the product because guys are supremely athletic, and athleticism is now more. Athleticism also is more. You say back. I don't think athleticism was appreciated back in the day. Skills was appreciated back in the day. Like if you had if your center could shoot, you know what I'm saying, and not just dunk, right? If your center and your power forward had a good drop step, you know what I mean. But athleticism is still, you know what I'm saying. It's kind of like to the background. If I think about Kenny Skywalker, like what would he do in this league now? To where, like, you know what I'm saying, when he was playing, like, he was kind of his minutes were regulated because he wasn't a strong jump shooter for his position. I think he played small forward, a little bit of power forward. Hell, Kenny, he played right center now at 6'8". You can with small ball. You know what I mean? But I don't know, Fred. Basketball is an ever changing sport, right? That's kind of the evolution of that depreciation of it, right, man? What me and you. And you know what I'm saying, I don't speak for Brandon, I'll let him chime in here, but me and you kind of grew up on was three-court Pistons basketball and, you know what I'm saying, hard nose and watching, you know what I'm saying, the 80s Lakers in the mat and Celtics the leprechaun out, right? Kind of look it out
right.
for championships, right? But I don't know, they just don't want to have I'll have to go back. They just don't want to have somebody sitting down for a long, you know what I'm saying, the star players to get hurt because it's just not. They're also the NBA is also the most marketable league that we have between the sports leagues that we have. So that's the reason why the rule changed. But I think there should have been like a happy medium somewhere. I kind of like the rules in college, believe it or not. I don't necessarily like all the officiating in college. Sometimes not the accuracy of it, right? But like I think I like the rules, and they've kind of incorporated freedom of movement too. It's just not like the NBA is like, man, you whistle on this, and they're gonna call foul. You know what I'm saying? But I don't necessarily think that's rec league basketball. I think it's still pressurized because it's still pressure to win, and guys still want to win, and they have this on their resume. Man, I get it. Jimmy Butler them down. But I wouldn't be surprised if they win enough games. But I'm not saying they're going to win the series. But I just wouldn't be surprised if they win enough games. That's how good and connected that team is.
Yeah.
Brandon?
Sorry, I just woke up with your grandpa answer to one question that was given to you.
Sorry, man. You got to go down Main.
Good night. Like you went so many different tangents there. I didn't even know where to pick up and put down.
Hey, we're passionate about this.
Hey, listen, I've grown up watching both styles. I was lucky enough, born in the early '80s, 85. I was able to watch the Bird era, the Bad Boys of Detroit, obviously then the Bulls and the style, you know, and everything's changed. Whether it be the NBA's changed, yeah. Have they kind of went to a more of a hybrid model? Absolutely, 1,000%. I mean, if you look, even the NFL has had to adapt from the type of league it was, where and we'll call it good or bad, but where you could sit there and take somebody's head off and not get a penalty for it. Where now you breathe on the quarterback and you get a penalty for it. I think every sport, every league has had to try to learn how to adapt to change it. And Fred, to even put it in a wrestling perspective, I mean, my God, think about how the fans just have changed from wrestling in the 80s to go into the 90s to the Attitude Era to kind of now where you got your millennials and it's all technology driven based.
Yeah, and I mean, but to be honest though, too, everything beyond just sports, just I think everything as humans gets that revisionist sort of broad paintbrush stroked over it. Like hearing blasphemous comments like, "Oh, Jordan didn't play anybody when he was, you know, gunning for the finals." Like, well, that, you know, he had Karl Malone and this guy and like Sean Kemp. Right. Like they're nowhere near as good as Curry, and you're like, dude, you weren't even alive. Like you don't even know what you're talking about. Like it's just hard to take those opinions as valid. Like you hear it, and it's almost just like you just got to just shrug and just go, "Yeah, whatever." Like you know, like,
right?
I guess you got to figure it out. Like what else are you gonna do? Like.
Fred, I'll be honest with you, it only like drives me crazy when I hear from people who should know better. So when I hear from like sports analysts, or I hear it from like former recently retired players or whatever, or even like sports people who say they are supposed to, up on the big scale. I'm like, what they did this? Like somebody, I don't want to call them out. Somebody said, just kind of arguing if Steph Curry and Isaiah Thomas was like, again, Steph Curry has a lot more point totals than Isaiah Thomas as a point guard or whatever, but there's no way you're going to tell me Isaiah Thomas could play now. I get it. He doesn't have the flashy three-pointers like that Steph Curry does, but like, there's no way you can. Me and Brandon talked about this when we had with Coach Artis on a couple episodes. I mean, like many episodes ago, man. People think, Fred, take those opportunities. This is what I suggest, man. Take those opportunities and educate. It's like, man, are you serious? Yeah, and just hit them with that,
absolutely.
And
yeah,
then,
well, and you take it to, like, do you even take it serious, Bert? Because, like, connecting it with wrestling, dude, LeBron is Cena. Like, you can say, oh, he's got almost one title short of Ric Flair, but then you look at Flair's title, and then you look at this dude's title reigns, and you're just like, these are kayfabe titles, bro. Like, these are kayfabe title era. Like, but then you see you see, like, WWE documentaries where they got, like, Ric Flair and, like, old school vets like Bret Hart, and like you can tell they probably paid them a handsome sum, like, best opponent I've ever faced, John Cena, and it's like this forced, like, we gotta pass the kid the torch kind of thing. Like, it's the same thing with the NBA. Like with Zion, you see all the shade that Shannon Sharp throws Zion like all season, because there can only be one pope, there can only be one show. We can't have, it's like female rappers or something, like there can only be one. We can't have more than one good female rapper, because we can't, it's this sort of narrative you gotta paint, but like it's just so silly, man. Like it's pretty ridiculous.
Yeah.
At least you didn't call John Cena diesel.
Uh-oh.
I'd have told Brandon hang up on you. You said LeBron James was diesel.
Hey, Fred.
I can accept John Cena.
I said a couple videos of Bird Song earlier this week, but I watched the Stone Cold video interview that he always does right now with different people. Yeah, I just watched the one with Kurt Angle. That was very fascinating, kind of talking about his run up. There were some stories I haven't heard, but then obviously I knew about his drug issues that he had, and just kind of how serious it was, what he was taking every night. And then his run at TNA, and kind of how he wished, even when he got back, he felt like he was misused by Vince and them. He wanted one last title run, but they wanted to go a different route. And but I thought it was a very interesting documentary, I guess, show that they did with there. And Steve usually does a pretty good show with whoever he brings on.
Yeah, I love the greatest thing about that interview was that Kurt Angle actually referenced Perk Angle. Like he flat out,
yeah,
because that was like the trend on social media that his best matches were in TNA when he was Perk Angle. Dude flat out quoted Perk Angle, like he's aware of that trend. That was the funniest thing in the interview. But yeah, I think he's underrated. Like Kurt Angle is so underrated. And it's kind of like that comparison with like rap, like Redman and other artists who are like, they're some of the best ever, but they're goofier, like Busta Rhymes. Like they're goofy,
right.
So
right.
We can't give them their credit. We don't take them seriously. And they're like, no, they're like goats. Like they're greats. Kurt Angle is one of the greats. It'd have been interesting to see Kurt Angle in WCW when WCW was hot, when they had Eddie. I'm not saying he didn't have. I'm not saying they didn't have. I'm not saying Rey Mysterio and him and Eddie. They didn't have great matches. With them once they got to once they got to WWE, WWF. But I'm saying once they were to my back when everybody was still not necessarily. Everybody was still real in their prime, like at their peak, right? Chris Jericho and Guerrero. I think. And that whole luchador crew that they had, I think they had some epic matches. But like what you bring up with I did watch it, Brandon. Brandon clicks on me because you don't think I watch.
You don't have WWE Network, do you?
Well, I'm saying I don't, but I'm saying I still watch it.
Hey, you can use a friend.
I've tried to give him my login.
I still watch it. I didn't. You get so wrapped up in his heel. I got so wrapped up in his heel character that I didn't think he was all that. But when you go back and look at the matches, and then we go back and listen to whoever he had a match with, this particular Stone Cold, and then what he had to go through, endure, to like this is the one. He didn't get through he had to go through the glass
with Shane.
Yeah, King of the Ring.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and then it didn't actually. I mean, the things that the guys have to do besides what people see, and like to get it over, man, it's incredible, man. So again, I think you're 100% right when you say Kurt Angle is underrated. The TNA version of Kurt Angle, I didn't like it because I thought he was way over. He was better than everybody there. Everybody there was, done by then. That he had them lit, But
right.
But I thought he was. I thought like when I go back and look at the WWE tape, damn, yeah, you're right. Oh, horribly underrated.
Fred, real quick, what's the latest on the pro wrestling front? What's the latest news around the wrestling world?
I think the biggest thing right now, as far as pure wrestling goes, is the G1 Climax. New Japan Pro Wrestling G1 Climax. Speaking of sharing login, anybody want my login, want to watch it? Hey, I'll tweet it out, whatever you need. You don't want to pay the $9.99 yen, which equates to like $8. It's incredible, top to bottom. I think the biggest problem with New Japan for a while, even as a big fan, was that there's too many tag matches and it seems like filler. But it's a short 2.5 hour show. There's like 18 nights total, and it goes like for a month long. They're kind of at the midway point. And I believe October 18th is the final. And the winner of that goes on to the Wrestle Kingdom show on January 4th, which is like their big WrestleMania. So think like Royal Rumble. This is the Royal Rumble. Wrestle Kingdom is, WrestleMania.
Gotcha.
So yeah, it's just it's exciting and it's just really fun. Just the wrestling is so good. The pairings are, you get an odd pairing and it turns out to be a great match. Like there's been no stinkers at all. So if you're not into just soap opera stuff and you care more about I just want to see a good wrestling match, and
yep,
that's right. Then that's the ticket right there. So yeah, check out the G1 Climax tournament on New Japan World.
They have a little bit of storyline in New Japan though, I thought.
Oh, somewhat, yeah. Absolutely,
but not to the case of not we have with soap opera, not like we have here.
Right.
No, it's not on some Telemundo type stuff, You slept with my brother, Rey Mysterio's daughters, with Buddy Murphy or whatever's going on.
Hey, but the good news, Fred, is this week, in the words of Vince McMahon, we're gonna shake things up a bit with the draft.
Oh God, another draft.
Which last I heard, they only had the top 6 guys from each show figured out. The rest of the mid cards and stuff they do not have figured out as of right now, which is not shocking.
Serious question, guys, and maybe directed to Brandon. So where are the Retribution guys gonna go? Like Flat Dog and T-Jack and Flapjack? Where are those dudes gonna go? What brand are they on?
Oh, I think it's gonna be I think they're gonna be a multi-breed like Cena and Undertaker, where you can go on both brands or all 3 brands.
Dude, hilarious. What's your take on the Retribution gimmick? What's your take?
I think it had a chance to do something great. And just like in the past when they've had different groups, it's fallen flat on its face. The fact that the names that they gave for these guys, the masks, are kind of stupid now. And the fact I can't get behind Mustafa Ali as being the leader of Retribution. I like Mustafa Ali. Don't get me wrong. I like his talent. But I just can't get behind him as being the leader,
Hey, that was supposed to be Kofi Kingston. Kofi Kingston took his spot and went on to Mania. They had high hopes for him before he got injured. So maybe this is the ticket. I mean, he's been on the main event show for months now. So maybe this is his ticket to cash in. I've seen him wrestle in Chicago and different indies. Man, Mustafa Ali is just super good.
Yeah,
super good.
The Retribution. I don't know. I'll see where it goes, but I don't think they got a plan out for the past 2-3 weeks. They don't know what the hell they're going to do with it. So
right. I'm just waiting for Keith Lee to be in Hurt Business.
Yeah.
I'm
waiting for that.
Let's throw him in the group.
And maybe after the singles run, maybe you get a Big E or you get a Kofi maybe themselves into the Hurt Business. I think it's something that can grow big, and it should culminate by Survivor Series. I think. I mean, that's the type of where you want a 5-on-5 traditional match. This is where you put probably the Hurt Business is 5 because they're going to get a couple more characters. They have to. You keep getting beat up each week like NWO did to WCW, versus probably them there on a 5-on-5 match. I'm guessing.
Right, but then they
Can I make a wish?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Oh, you said what? Oh, Bert, I was just going to say real quick, I just want to make a quick wish on air. Please, WWE, powers that be, Vince, the wrestling gods, please give us Roman versus Big E for the title at WrestleMania. And please let Big E win with a 5 count. With a 5 count. Throwback. A 5 count.
You know what kind of
That's all
world we would
that's
have
all
to
his
live in? So Roman Reigns wrestle Big E. That's not the setup, friend. You know that, right?
I'm telling you, Bert. I'm telling you, man. They're gonna get behind.
I'm not saying
like
it
they
would be
did
a great
Kofi.
match.
They're gonna
saying
get
it would be a
behind
great
Big
match.
E. Yeah,
Well,
everybody's
they
gonna
gotta-
get behind Big E, just like Kofi. Like, there's just something about it. He's paid his dues. Like, they're just wanting that title run. Like, I just feel it. There's certain organic things you kind of can just feel. Like, everybody's kind of wanting, like the Becky Lynch thing, Daniel Bryan, like
Right.
Kofi. Like, this seems like one of those kind of organic things. Like, people want Big E to break out.
That would be a swerve.
Hey, Fred, as a big wrestling fan that you are, probably the millions of shows that you've been to, when I guess 2-part question. Number one, when do you think we can finally start having multiples of fans back into these arenas for these shows? And second, as a fan yourself going into these shows, what would you expect from these companies to have in place for you to be safe but still feel you can enjoy the show? What are you looking for?
Well, right now, Indianapolis seems to be like the epicenter of indie wrestling, which is so odd because I've been complaining for years that we can't get any shows here. So GCW's collective show, which they usually do during Mania, they're going to be doing those shows at the fairgrounds this weekend, and John Moxley's going to be there at the Bloodsport event.
Wow.
There's all kinds of. There's the For the Culture show with AJ Gray, hosts the all African American card for the Culture. So that's been really cool to see that idea kind of come to fruition. And then there's Joey Janela's Spring Break and all kinds of other shows too. And the cards are great. And so there's like social distancing bleachers, but the tickets are like $120 for 2. So essentially, you're paying $60 to sit your butt on a bleacher. But it's in a socially distanced, like special germ-free area, and it's like, $60 for an indie show is kind of bizarre. Like,
Right.
I could go to AEW for 25, or like a WWE show for 25 or 30. You know, so it's just strange times, man. I think we're all kind of yearning for wrestling. I've kind of teased, like, man, if I lived in the Jacksonville area right now, like, you could just make a trip to the Daly's place because they're doing season passes for Dynamite.
Yeah.
And so you just essentially get to go every Wednesday to watch a different Dynamite, and it's like $25 a pop. So that's really cool. I read today that the state of Florida is now close to allowing full capacity at stadiums
I saw that.
for events. So that's pretty much why the Hollywood Mania is off the books now, and why they're going back to Tampa, because the governor situation in California is quite drastic from the governor situation in Florida.
Right.
And as much as there's some people that detract from that, and they're like, "Oh, keep politics out of sports and wrestling and whatever the case," that still plays a heavy factor, because that's the way it goes. Like, people that make the laws and find that, like, they want the economy going, they want things back, and they don't really care about certain issues or certain things that are going on. And so it's a weird time of, like, there's people that don't trust scientists and you got to be around this company. It's like, are they in it for the money? Do they want fans to have these things that, like, when is it going to be worth it? I don't really know. I still don't feel comfortable going to shows. To wrestling shows. That'll change down the road, but I think, it's just, it's going to take a vaccine. It's going to take a different sort of structure, not to try to tippy-toe and be apolitical on the sports show. But I think it's going to take a lot of those political decisions to have people kind of maybe feel more comfortable to go to shows. And honestly, it's a tough saying with Mania if they'll even sell it out, depending on just how people's comfort level is with all this stuff going on. You know, like you kind of just got to wait and see, I guess, you know?
Okay, perfect. Well, Fred, I want to thank you for calling, my man. I really appreciate it. We appreciate you. And we'll talk to Birdsong another time why he doesn't have Kurt Angle in his top 10. I don't understand why.
Hey, whenever you want to do that Mount Rushmore show, whenever you want to do the Mount Rushmore show, I think that would be riveting audio for the Crossroads sports listeners out there.
Yeah, they probably enjoy listening to me get ripped by you about my top 4. So at least the 4th one. But I have a good reason for it.
You gotta have one Japanese name in the mix. Like, come on, dude. If your top 4 don't have a Japanese name, we're not talking.
Tajiri?
No, not Tajiri.
All right, Fred. Take care, buddy.
I think you would do.
All right.
Take care about.
See ya.
It comes from the kayfabe connection.
All right, John. That was Fred Fellner. Oh, always a joy to have Fred on.
I told the pre-show people, man, Fred knows more than just wrestling. He knows football. Hell, we didn't even ask about Detroit. They had a heartbreaker this weekend.
That's why I didn't ask. It was tough. Patricia might be up on the block next. I don't know. It could be.
You know about their coach?
Yeah.
Man, you know what?
We'll get to it. Let's get through NBA. We ain't done yet with NBA still.
Okay, because we got to talk about NBA trade rumors and the rest of this breakdown.
So Doc Rivers was the head coach of the Clippers, got fired, and then a cup of coffee later, head coach of the 76ers now, John. Quick thoughts on that as we run through everything?
It wasn't even a cup of coffee, man. Doc Rivers, I don't care. There's a lot of buzz playing out her Doc Rivers' name, man, but the dude knows how to run a good program. And the NBA is full of retread coaches. I guess he's one of them now, but he's a retread coach that gets you where you want to go. Western Conference Finals, NBA championship. I know it came up a little short this year, but you know what, Brandon? That story's gonna be told, man. That's the LA back page story. The LA front page story is the Lakers winning, right?
Yep.
The LA back page story is like what drove the Clippers to. I mean, I get it. The Clippers had matchup problems and they needed a point guard and all that, but they still had Paul George and Kawhi Leonard. So, but they stopped listening to Doc Rivers or something happened, right? But that story's the back page story. I think it'll happen. But kudos to Doc Rivers to get another gig and try to fix another mess, right, in Philadelphia. And I think you know what I'm saying, they're a playoff team.
Do they got to trade Ben Simmons? Do they have to trade Ben Simmons?
They got to trade. They got to trade. They got to trade somebody. They're not going to trade Ben Simmons. They're not going to trade Embiid yet. Okay, I say yet. So they're probably still 2 more years out with Embiid. To be honest with you, I don't think Ben Simmons. They got to find some guys. Find him shooters. Imagine Ben Simmons with the Miami Heat with the shooters that they have. They just need shooters. They got rid of all their shooters. And they brought in Al Horford, and it doesn't work.
Right.
They're like, that big man style of basketball doesn't work. Go ahead,
with Tobias Harris, Joel Embiid, Ben Simmons, I guess you can say Al Horford didn't play very much, and some of their younger guns they have there, John. They end up being a 5 seed. Okay, it cost their coach Brett Brown the position. You've brought Doc Rivers in. If they go out in a trade and get, say, a veteran leadership, proven scorer and assister, Chris Paul, where would that move Phil? Would that move Philly up to the 4 or 3, the top line? Where would that put them next year?
I'm telling you, Crossroads Sports, listen, audience and Brandon, that the East next year is going to be a dogfight because if Giannis kind of resigns over the summer, then Milwaukee is solid. Okay, Milwaukee is solid. If the Heat are back and they don't. Why would Pat Riley tinker with his team at this point? I get it. You know, he might want another guy, but Philadelphia, they've got. Why would you argue with Doc Rivers now? I see why Joel Embiid. If Joel Embiid checks out Doc Rivers, then the powers to be, they're gonna get rid of Joel Embiid. You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
Doc Rivers got got too much respect in the locker room, either as a player or as a coach. She's like, this is how we get to the championship. I know Doc Rivers only got one, but that's one more than Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons and anybody else in that locker room.
Okay.
Right? They need to make a trade. They need to make moves to get better wing depth and better wing play, guard play.
Okay. Tyronn Lue met with the Pelicans. And he's also met with the Clippers and the Rockets, possibly, for Tyronn Lue, possibly taking over head coaching position. Also, D'Antoni and Nate McMillan apparently have both met with the Pelicans for a possible head coaching position down in New Orleans. Looking a little bit closer, John, or Indiana Pacers, it's dragging out. Adrian Wojnarowski said that they've kind of gotten down to their top 6 candidates or so. Chris Finch, who's a Pelicans assistant coach, Becky Hammond, Chauncey Billups, Mike D'Antoni, who's now low on the list, Dave Jorgensen, who obviously we've talked about, and I talked about it first. He came up on my list as a top candidate. And then looks like right now one of the top go leaders is the assistant for Miami. Not talking about Chris Quinn. I'm talking about the other guy. I can't think of his. I thought I had his name written down here. Cannot think of his name. And then the other one, Darvin Ham, the assistant coach with Milwaukee.
Yeah.
Right now is kind of floated to the top.
Yeah, I've seen Darvin Ham name associated with the Pacers as well. I don't think he played for the Pacers 7 years ago, believe it or not. But I don't think that's the Pacers guy. I don't know why New Orleans wouldn't pick a young up-and-coming coach to pair with their young up-and-coming team. You know what I'm saying? I don't know why would you be even entertaining an old curmudgeon like D'Antoni. And as much as everybody should love Tyronn Lue, I mean, I don't know, man. I'm not saying that X knows and what it is. They would listen to Tyronn Lue, but I just don't. Tyronn, you had Alvin Gentry. Tyronn Lue, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
So I don't know. They sometimes just retrade guys. Just need to fall back and become assistants, man. Sometimes, man, and then let somebody young, dynamic kind of lead these guys on to to what the NBA is going to be. So
yeah, I'm sorry, I got the name now. Dan Craig. Dan Craig is the Miami assistant that is up on the top of the list with Darvin Ham for the head coaching vacancy in Indiana.
Well, and Houston got any coach?
They have not yet.
That's crazy.
Well, there's the thing. I think the Pacers are also waiting with Dan Craig. I think the fact they want to get their final round of interviews, I think he's going to want to be in it, and they have to wait till this finals are over. So that Pacers position could start ramping up here as early as Saturday or Friday night after if the season ends on Friday.
Yeah.
So
you could.
More to come on it.
We'll see.
Hey, John, I got a quick question for you regarding your best friend in the league. I don't know if you saw the statements over the weekend from Kyrie Irving on a podcast with his buddy Kevin Durant. They were talking about the head coaching situation. Obviously, now Steve Nash is the head coach down over in Brooklyn. And there was some talk about should he be the head coach, should Jacques Vaughn, whoever. But Kyrie Irving said this, John, and I don't know how this can't be anything from a dumpster fire to a car wreck on I-465 around here in Indianapolis. But it sounds like the wheels are about to fall off. But Kyrie Irving speaks on the coaching situation, quote, I don't really see us having a, quote, head coach. KD could be the head coach. I could be the head coach some days. KD adds, Jacques Vaughn could be the head coach and do it one day. It's a collaborative effort. If that doesn't sound like an issue and that's going to fall flat on their face, what's your take on Kyrie's comments there and the chance?
Absolutely, man. Listen, you can't – everybody can't do what LeBron James does. You see what I'm saying? We kind of joked about it earlier, you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to tell the conference list on it. I told you, you know what I'm saying, the Lakers go as LeBron goes, man, right? And then they listen to Frank Vogel after that, right? But no, man, Kyrie Irving, like, dude, you're trying to if the purpose of putting this team together in Brooklyn is to build a culture, this is definitely not part of the plan. You know what I'm saying? Brandon, correct me if I'm wrong, and I know I'm not. Teams that the last couple teams that we have down to the nitty-gritty have great culture. They listen to their coach. They have buy-in. The Boston Celtics had great buy-in with Brad Stevens. I don't want to keep on crediting the Indiana guy, but we talk about the Heat and what they have great buy-in with Eric Spoelstra. Eric Spoelstra is on the shoot. If he win one more championship, we thought, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? We're going to have to start putting his name up every time. We kind of talked about that last episode.
Right.
So then, how can, you know what I'm saying, y'all trying to make something special happen in Brooklyn, Kyrie Irving, and you talking about, you know what I'm saying, we ain't got to listen to Steve Nash? Well, what the hell is Brooklyn Nets hired Steve Nash for?
Yeah,
you know
exactly.
They would just hire Josh Bond. Hell, they would have hired me.
I think Kyrie just likes to hear himself.
Sometimes, man, I get it, Kevin Durant.
And he's jealous.
Second or third best player.
He is so jealous of LeBron James.
He'll never let his emotions. He'll never let that emotion come out. But like, listen, man, if it didn't work, look how far the Boston Celtics got with a change in the point guard and change the lead guard to what the two seasons they had with him. And you know what I'm saying, he just didn't have buy-in. He does not have buy-in to what coach is saying. He thinks he knows more than the coach, but you haven't proven that. It didn't work at you at the solo act with Cleveland. You know what I'm saying? It didn't work. Like you can say, people can say that when they didn't have a team, well, they gave Paul George a team,
and it did not work in Boston.
You know what I'm saying? It didn't work in Boston. He had the better team. He had Brown and Tatum.
That team could have won a title.
So, with his skill set, because we know Kyrie Irving's skill set is just a little bit better than Kemba Walker's. I'm not about to go down that road. Kemba Walker. I'm not going to say Kemba Walker anyway. But he's a team player. He buys into what the coach is saying. He buys into what, you know what I'm saying, get the guys involved. Kyrie Irving would be out there playing hero ball. 7 for 27. I think that was his last stat. Last stat line in the Boston Celtics uniform. You know what I mean? I don't know, man. That doesn't bode well because, as we all know, Kevin Durant ain't the most leaders of leaders his damn self when it comes to let's get this kid. You know what I'm saying? He let Russell Westbrook run him out of town. Let the barbershop crowd tell the story. That's not me, Brandon. Like you said, he bet on himself. He wanted to win a championship early, whether it was Russell running him out of town or not. But still, they gave, you know what I mean? You get my point.
Yeah. But
they got to get on. They got to get on the same page, man. In Brooklyn, it's to be taken seriously.
Absolutely. So, all right, John, when we come back, we'll either do one of the footballs. We either do some NFL or college football before our guy Tanner Penrod calls in and talk a little sports betting. But until then, John, we got to help pay the bills. So we're going to go to a quick ad read from our sponsor, Scott K. Nichols and State Farm Insurance. We'll be right back.
All right.
You've changed thousands of diapers, cut off hundreds of crusts, played hours of peekaboo and duck goose because you'd do anything for your kids. That's why it's so important to protect them with life insurance from State Farm. State Farm Insurance agent Scott K. Nichols will help make it easy and affordable to help protect your family no matter what the future holds. Because for the people you do anything for, life insurance could mean everything. Call State Farm agent Scott K. Nichols in Indianapolis today at 317-243-3509. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
All right. Thank you for our sponsor, Scott K. Nichols and State Farm Insurance. John, let's dive in because it's going to be a shorter segment here. We'll talk college football.
Mm-hmm.
We got Tanner probably calling on here in a little bit. College football, John, the Big 12, Texas, the Herman. I just said they can't lose to TCU. They can't lose or Texas Tech. They got to be the best team in the state. And then they go and lose to Texas Christian. TCU knocks off Texas. And now the horns are down. Horns down again for Herman.
I'm so disappointed. Man. I get it that this is, you know what I'm saying, we're dealing with extreme times and different set of circumstances, man. But, you know, Texas, they ain't not gonna take those excuses in Texas, man. Not at all. Not losing that game this particular weekend. The Big 12, and then to further complicate things, man, everybody's favorites in the Big 12, whether it was Oklahoma or Texas, they're reeling right now. You know what I'm saying? So the Big 12 is looking like they're not gonna be able to get invited to any type of national championship game. Long story short, right? I don't know. Can they get it? I didn't see the rest of the schedule, but I don't think Texas can get back, or Oklahoma can get back into the national spotlight. Yeah. Not like that. They can go on a win streak, but they can't get back into they can't get back to the conversation. Big Ten, once the Big Ten kicks off and hopefully everything kind of goes, nobody, you don't have big injuries like you kind of seen with the NFL or anything like that. But if everything kind of goes as we potentially might be 2 Big Ten teams or even 2 SEC teams that vie for a title, because like two lost Big 12 teams and who they lost to, that all those things still kind of factor into who kind of represents the conference.
Yeah, you just talked about Texas's rival, Oklahoma. The Sooners lost a big game on the road at Iowa State. Now, Iowa State's not a slouch, but Oklahoma, they should have had that game, John. They were up even late. They scored, and then they let Iowa State just come right down, march down the field. Both teams are reeling right now in the Big 12 that we thought would be ahead of the class with Texas and Oklahoma. And it's not DEFCON 5 yet, but it's getting damn close.
Yeah, we're on DEFCON 4. I don't know if anybody necessarily gets fired after this particular season. Tom Herman.
I think COVID's giving everybody a pass, I would think, except for obviously Bill O'Brien. But,
collegiately, is COVID giving everybody a pass? It's Jim. I wish we could bring it back on, man. We need to get Tyler Fenwick back on too. I don't know if Jim Harbaugh's getting the pass this year.
I think he is.
He is. He probably is.
Just because he spoke for the university, he kept trying to get it to play. If you're hurting for your university and you have that fear that you're losing your job, shit, I wouldn't be saying, hey, let's go play some football. I'd be like, hey, let's just wait until next year. It's a little bit easier. Let me keep earning those paychecks.
Right.
Couple other things I have college football wise, John. Just looking throughout the week, Mississippi State went, John, and knocked off the defending national champs, and then they go and take on Arkansas, who hasn't won a game in the last 4 years in the SEC, and they got beat.
Yeah, man, it's crazy. Brandon, because the season prep was so short, we haven't seen a whole lot of injury in college football. I'm glad, you know what I'm saying, even in the short time. Because, like, I think that it kind of plays into a factor. Everybody kind of was comfortable. Remember when we did our shows in the springtime and summertime, everybody was, like, super comfortable, like, everybody was absorbing on Zoom calls, all the playbook and all that.
Right.
That's all great that you know where to go and how to execute, but if you're not out there with your teammates running routes and early, or doing early spring ball, or you know what I'm saying, then, everybody, the conciseness and the consistency and, like, the reps, all that, kind of comes to, you're gonna have up and down season like this. Arkansas, oh my God, I can't believe they should kick the Arkansas out of the SEC.
Uh-oh.
2 years.
Uh-oh.
Arkansas played so bad, but like, no, man, I don't know. It's gonna be up and down season for everybody.
Yeah. Lane Train went and got a win last week, John. Looking good.
Yeah, I think both of us called it. He played an opponent that
Kentucky.
He brought his style of offense. So yeah, Kentucky still. Listen, I know. I think I might.
Don't piss off the Commonwealth.
I already did. But they still love to Kentucky. They still love to Kentucky. But like now, Kentucky, they're gonna turn out some pro players out of that program. But just like up and down year for I still got Kentucky to stun somebody. They will. Yeah,
absolutely. Apparently, Georgia, the state of Georgia, the University of Georgia, they don't give a shit about COVID. John, they were supposed to play their game against Auburn this week, which, by the way, they routed Auburn. They were supposed to be capped out at 15,000 fans. John, I know when I was watching that game Saturday night, that damn whole stadium in Athens, Georgia was sold out. So Georgia and the SEC might have some problems when it comes to these COVID rulings.
I don't know. It's just in a crazy mixed message, man. We were in the segment before the NFL getting ready to shut down, pause, potentially, and we got collegiate football, you know what I'm saying, just saying the hell with it, you know what I'm saying, let's just go burn it all down, man. That's just crazy, man. I don't know. I guarantee you, Brandon, the Big Ten will not make these mistakes that the SEC is doing. I guarantee you.
No, not at all.
once their season starts.
That was hey, what's your thoughts on Auburn? They a bunch of frauds?
It looked like it. I didn't have them get blown out. I do believe. Actually, I did call them. I had Auburn.
You picked Auburn to win, yeah.
Get blown out. Yeah, I didn't think Auburn was going to get blown out. So no, it's just again. They lost a lot from last year. I don't want to make no excuse for them. You know what I'm saying? Because they are one of those teams that's a rich gets richer. Even though they lose, they still got a recruit class that's coming that make any outside of Ohio State and Michigan make anybody's recruiting look terrible. You know, the kind of recruits they get down to Auburn and stuff.
Right.
But I think they bounce back.
Okay. Kind of looking back at our Week 5 matchup, John. I went 3-4 in my picks. You went 4-3. Overall, I'm sitting at 7-8. You're sitting at 10-5 right now overall. So, not looking too bad. Or excuse me, 10-12. 10-12 and 14-8. Let me get that right. Yeah. 10-12 and 14-8. I didn't update it. Yeah, it's looking ugly. But it's weird because what I put on here still, and what I actually decided to bet on game day, I watched the lines and how they move, and then that's when I make my bets. So we're doing this here on a Wednesday night before some of the movement happens, and just kind of going off of there. But it's fun. It is what it is. Looking forward to it. By the way, real quick before we go to our Week 6 picks, we didn't talk about it last week, and I'm sorry, Purdue fans. Huge hit with Rondell Moore coming back for the Boilermakers for this season.
Yeah, Rondell had kind of stepped out of the season to kind of focus on the draft. And then once every kind of thing kind of got turned back out, he had to change the heart. I don't even know the story behind all that, man. Like how he suddenly had to change the heart. I would assume that once you know what I'm saying, start preparing for the draft, you would have got an agent and all that, and like somebody to work out. But evidently that Rolling Stone didn't gather any moss. So
right.
Back with the team, and I guess you can get all the you know what I'm saying, training and whatnot out with the team, and also you know what I'm saying, once you put the talent back on the field, people can see where he's at. I think you know what I'm saying, if you look at Kuipers, you know what I'm saying, Big Board or something like that, man, they had Rondell. It's still the first round, but like lower part of the first round.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So they love his hands and love his toughness. I don't want to start knocking him or whatnot, but like I said, those are some of the positives with Rondell Moore. He is definitely NFL talent for sure.
All right, John, we're in Week 6 now of the college football season. We've yet to have any of the Big Ten or the Pac-12 games, but we've had a big slate of football games to make our picks on this week, John. I've got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 games that we're going to be picking tonight. Some big ones. And we're going to start out number 4, Florida, on a roll right now, looking great. The Florida Gators at number 21, Texas A&M. A&M got rolled last week by Alabama. That was one of my picks that they would cover that spread. They didn't. A&M is only getting 6.5 points. I like Florida, and I'm going to give you those 6.5 points in that game.
Yeah, that makes sense. Texas A&M will have a little bit better showing, and for those who are not betting, and for those Texas A&M fans, but Florida's going to beat them. It'll be close.
I don't understand. Florida's a good team. I don't understand how Alabama was getting 16 to 18.5 points that they were giving up, but Florida's only going to give up 6.5. To me, that seems like an easy bet there to take Florida and give the points up. So we've both on Florida there. Another one, John, for you. Number 19, Virginia Tech. The Hokies, they're going on the road to take on number 8. And I had to look at this to make sure I was right. Number 8, North Carolina. Carolina favored by 5.
The Mac Brown. I don't know, man. Mac Brown had a little bit of a better squad last year. I don't trust them against Virginia Tech. Okay. I don't.
So you're going Von Tech, and you're going to get 5 points. I'll take you, North Carolina, and I'll give you the 5 because I need to try and make up some ground against you. So I'm going to hope that Carolina can win by 2 field goals or a touchdown. And this matchup here I had to put on there. The big Red River shootout is pretty much the Red River of death. Which team's going to die this year because the season will be over. number 22. Well, actually, they're not ranked anymore. Excuse me. Texas at Oklahoma. So
Wow.
the two teams are shitty right now. They're playing each other. Texas at Oklahoma. Oklahoma is a 2.5-point favorite going into Saturday's matchup.
2.5. Listen, there's gonna be a lot of tears after this game.
There
There's gonna
is.
be
There might be some people.
Gonna be glad that they won, and the losing team's gonna be like, man, we lost to our bitter rival, right?
Yeah.
I got Texas winning, man.
Woo! You're going to take Texas in that
Texas,
game. I'm going to go Texas as well. I'm going to Texas with the 2.5 points on the road in Norman. It's a battle who really wants to try to save their season here. Like you said, John, there's going to be some tears afterwards, and I would not be surprised as well if there's some people declaring after this game and sitting out the rest of the year because there's no reason for them to play.
Oh, man, Trey Lawrence did that. Trey Lawrence, the college quarterback from North Dakota, already did that, man. After one game, crazy.
Yeah, that was nuts. Number 14, Tennessee, John, the Vols. Vols looking decent this year. Tennessee, number 14, at number 3, Georgia. Georgia giving up 12 points to Tennessee. Are you a believer yet?
Tennessee got a lot of talent that people are going to pick, like nitpick out of the NFL. You just get a lot of Tennessee guys coming in and being in the NFL draft next year. A lot of Tennessee guys, offensive line, nice. You know what I mean? Usually something they're not necessarily known for, right? I don't like Tennessee that much though. Not like that. Not beat Georgia. How many points again?
12.
12? I'm taking Georgia.
There you go. He's not going against the Bulldogs this time. So Athens fans and people in Athens, Birdsong is with you this week, not going against you. I'm also taking Georgia there in the 12 points. I see Georgia winning about 17-20 there in that game. Last three I have, John. Number two, Alabama. Lane Kiffin's going to take on his old assistant coach. He's going to take on the Lane train, Ole Miss. Lane Kiffin at Ole Miss. Ole Miss is getting 22.5 points in this one. What do you like?
And then he's not going to show any mercy to Lane Kiffin. And Lane Kiffin's going to try I guarantee Lane Kiffin's going to try some old hokey plays against Alabama to try to keep it honorable in the first half. But I think Alabama, lays them away in the second half.
Yeah, Hottie Toddy is going to be trying some trick plays that probably won't work out. And I would not be surprised if there's not a couple pick sixes in this game for Alabama early based on that. Last two matchups, John, that I have on my list before we bring on my guy. Number 7, Miami at number 1, Clemson. The Cane, the U. I don't know if you can officially say they're back yet or not, but the U heading to Clemson, take on the Tigers. Clemson minus 14.5. They're giving up 14.5 points. Is that too much for this Miami team?
It's a little bit too much for this Miami team. I think Clemson's going to sun this Miami team.
You think they're going to do what?
On their lap. Sun them. Sit them on their lap.
Okay.
Clemson's going to put Miami on his lap and show them, you know what I'm saying, who's the father and who's the son of the ACC.
Do they cover the 14.5, Miami, or no?
No way.
Woo. So you're going with Clemson on that. I'm going to go Clemson as well. I know De'Aaron King is the new quarterback in Miami. He looked good in his games against Louisville, against Florida State, but you're going against Trevor Lawrence and them. If it was at Miami, I think they would cover those points. But the fact that they're going to be on the road at Clemson, I don't like it. So I'm going to go Clemson there. Last one I have, John, and we'll see if you piss off the people of Northern Indiana or not. Florida State, the Seminoles, they're heading up to Notre Dame, South Bend, to take on the Fighting Irish. Notre Dame, 21-point favorites on Saturday.
21 points?
Yeah.
Wow. What's Florida State anymore, right? They made a mistake, divorced their coach, and he's coaching Texas A&M, man. I'd take Notre Dame at 21 points.
Okay. I'm gonna take Florida State with the points. I think Notre Dame, and this is subject to change. I may change this pick, but as of right now, I'm gonna take Florida State to at least keep it within 21. Hell, they may even lose by 20. I'm fine with that. As long as they keep it within the 21, we'll see. But we'll see what happens with that from there. So looking forward to it. All right, John, we're gonna bring on my guy here momentarily. I give him a proper intro, John. We're gonna bring on one of my fellow Ball State alumni. Went to school, Ball State with us. Big wrestling guy, also a big Yankees fan. I got to play his entrance music before I bring him on real quick.
The fact that I'm the dirtiest player in the game. The dirty. I'm writing a book right now. The dirtiest player in the game. I will stop at nothing to stay on top. Stop at nothing. I will not move out of that big house. I will drive nothing but Mercedes or Rolls Royce. I will go nowhere on a commercial airliner. I will ride in nothing but limousines, and I will make love to nothing but the best looking women in the world. You know why? Because I'm a winner at all costs.
And he is a winner at all costs, John. I want to bring on Tanner Penrod. Tanner, how are you, buddy?
I'm good. How you doing, Reed?
Doing well. That's a hell of an intro for you, my man.
Hey, I know. I was laughing so hard during that. I was like, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Got a lot. I didn't know what you were going to hit. I thought Stone Cold or something like that, but that's pretty good little promo from the old Nature Boy.
Yeah, well, I got copyright infringement if I go on Stone Cold's music, so I ain't going to pay the millions of big bucks to play that. They'll come and get me.
Hey, I don't blame you there.
So, John, Tanner's a big sports bettor as well. He obviously, I told John a little bit ahead of time that you're a big Yankees fan and such. What kind of card are you looking at tonight with the Yankees game going up against the Rays? A pivotal game for the Yankees. Are you there?
Hello. Did we lose him?
Uh-oh. Says he's still on. Tanner, are you there? I think we lost him. All right, I'll have him call back.
Oh, Tanner.
I'll have him call back. Real quick before we get him back on, John. Looking at baseball games from earlier today, Atlanta Braves won 2-0. Big hit for them. Going up now 2-0 on why am I drawing a blank? The Miami Marlins, who knocked off the Cubs. So Braves up 2-0 on Miami. Great pitching by Atlanta. Atlanta's looking really good here. We'll see if we got him back on real quick. Let me see. Tanner, are you there?
I'm there. You got me?
Yep, I got you. All right, buddy. So I was telling him, Jonathan, kind of a little bit about you being a sports bettor, big Yankees fan. What are you thinking of tonight's game, Rays and Yankees? Series tied 1-1. Pivotal game for your Yanks.
Definitely take the over. I think the Yankees, it's a must win for the Yankees being down, tied 1-1. Pitching actually pretty depleted and starting rotation. But the bats are always hot. They were always putting out runs. I think the line's at 9 tonight. Definitely if I had one confirmed bet, the over 9 for sure on that tonight. Tanaka had a really good ERA going in the playoffs until he got imploded by the Indians in Game 2 last playoff series. Got like a 1.76. Didn't have his best outing. But I think with the pressure on, I think Boone made the mistake last night with what he did with that pitching staff. I heard you talking earlier. Definitely a must-win for them tonight. But I like the over 9. And if I had to lean somewhere, I'd definitely lean towards the Yankees taking the night for sure.
Okay. Yeah, money line right now on DraftKings Sportsbook is Yankees minus 139. That's still good value. I think you got good value on the Yankees tonight, all the way up to probably minus 150, I think. After that point, I almost would take the run line just as much. Would you think about also taking the Yankees minus the 1.5 if you're looking at the over at 9, maybe?
I would say for the aggressive bettors, if you're looking, especially for the money, if you're looking to make some money, I mean, on that side, that's going to be plus money. So if you're looking to make some money, I mean, with the Yankees bats and everything like they did in Game 1, it was tight until Stanton hit that grand slam in the 9th. I think with the bats, the way they're hitting home runs, Stanton's hot. If those bats keep rolling, they can definitely put up runs and cover the 1.5 for sure.
Yep. Absolutely. And smart money is coming in on Tampa. I did look. there is some money coming in on Tampa late. They're plus 120 right now. But Charlie Morton against Tanaka. It's Tanaka Wednesday. So I'm going to go with the Yanks myself. I do like that in that matchup. It was a must win for them. I mean, obviously they can probably come back from that, but you've got to get this one in, especially if you want to get a chance back with your main ace, Garrett Cole. Any takes on the Padres or Dodgers tonight? You got Zach Davies against Clayton Kershaw. Dodgers are a heavy favorite right now at minus 235.
And I looked at that earlier today. Dodgers scared me. Kershaw scares me. He had his best outing, I feel like, in a long time in the playoffs. Last series, he went, I believe, 8 strong. He hasn't been the best playoff pitcher in the past. Zach Davies has his ups and downs, too. I mean, Padres looked real good last night until they imploded and gave up that 5-run inning. I feel like for your value, the value I think has got to be with the Padres tonight. I mean, yes, Kershaw is a gem when he's on, but if you look at past history, can he do it again? Can he keep it rolling like he did last time?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like I do like the I like the Padres plus 1.5 on that run line. It's minus 121. Yeah. I do like that. If you want to do anything on the Padres, take the money or the run line for sure.
Yeah, take the plus. Yeah, 121 is not a bad number to get on that for sure. I think that's a great value you're getting. You're not laying too much juice with the 121. Okay. I do have a couple other things. I don't know where we're going. I was listening to you earlier. I was laughing at something. I saw you guys think I'm not going to transition you too much, but the Saban thing with Mississippi.
Yep.
I'm going to tell you, that hurricane's coming in there. They said bad weather might be coming. So one, I would look for the under. If it's going to be a sloppy game and a lot of rain comes in there, one, look at the under. And you got to look at what Saban does against his ex-assistant coaches. He doesn't like to run it up on them too much. You got to look at that with Kiffin being.
But wasn't it kind of like wasn't it a sour note when he left or not? I can't remember if it was or not.
I don't know I don't know if it was. I mean, Kiffin's had a circus of a head coaching job all over the place.
Right. Florida Atlantic.
So,
okay.
But I did want to put that. That's the only thing I wouldn't lay that until about game time on that game. I'd like to see what the weather. If it's storming, and I think that Alabama line's like in the 60s. If it's bad, I'm a big fan of it.
It's 70.5 right now. 70.5. So
yeah.
Okay, perfect.
You wait to the game time, and if it's swampy out there, good time to hammer that under for sure.
Hey, John, if you want to take the lane train on the money line against Bama, $10 will net you $125 if you decide to take them. So
wow.
Anything else? Tanner, that kind of hit your eye for the weekend?
Yeah, this is what I've been doing a lot. I got a good guy. I'll keep his name out of it. With our bets, I don't know what you've been saying about the NBA Finals. I think LeBron's pretty much got that locked up. What we've been hitting on a lot is these first quarter unders. They've been coming out slow. They've been inflated a lot this whole playoff. And for those live bettors out there, it only really works on the unders. This is my little suggestion. You get those live bets. First quarters, they start out about 56 and up. You get the first 2 minutes, and they don't score. We'll drop that over-under to about 48. You give yourself a nice little middle chance to get in there to double up on both sides. Then you can take the over 47-ish, and we've had some pretty good success on that in the playoffs.
Okay, I like that. Yeah, now it's looking like it's 55.5 for first quarter Friday.
Yeah. They've been dropping them. We've had some but if you do the over, it doesn't work that way because it's only if you take the under.
Okay.
So I just wanted to clear. It's only if you take the under, and you got to watch it. And if they don't score, you can get a good little middle, and you can double dip on them. It's a nice little thing. And the only other thing I got,
I like the Gators this week. They didn't cover last week. They're on the road against A&M, just some Lions, in their last 43 road games as a favorite. The Gators are 31-12, and 5-0 on their last games when they didn't cover, since they didn't cover against South Carolina last week. They're 5-0 coming off of against the spread. I like the 6.5, and then
doesn't that seem low
bet,
for A&M?
Yeah. I don't know. It's on the road. It is low. 6.5. I feel like it's low. I really like it. Gators, I think it's going to be Bama. I think the Gators will give. They're in the East. Bama's in the West. That'll be a good showdown.
Okay.
I don't know if they eat the season, but definitely SEC championship. That could have potential to be a great game.
Okay, John, you got anything for Tanner? Like I say, big Yankees guy, big wrestling guy.
No, man, I just wanted to welcome to the show, man. And he's, like I said, been dropping a lot of sports betting. Now, I totally forget all the time, Brandon, about weather conditions when it comes to you know what I'm saying, who I used to look at like athletic competition, you know, who's best coach, and something like that, who's ass is just kicked. And I totally forget about sometimes weather conditions make the playing fields a little bit less, you know what I'm saying, advantageous to even the offensive powerhouse, right? So kudos for Tanner to drop that dime on it. Yeah. But now I got an asking about is there any action, either one of you, on who's going to be the MVP for MLB in either league?
Oh man, the MLB. I'll tell you what. For the MLB MVP, who I like is being a fan of the Yankees. I'd love to say someone was in there. I mean, Voit hit the home runs and did everything, but I really liked Ramirez from the Indians. I think he put a pretty good season together. I think the Indians did well for what they had with for the season they had with the pitcher controversy with all those players having to step down and everything. He's for AL MVP. He's probably got me locked up in there. And for NL, I liked Freddie Freeman. I just call him all day Freddie. I feel like he always comes through. He's clutch. He always seems to hit when they need to hit. The Braves do. I think he slashed like 341 this year. He did a really good job.
Yeah, and they keep winning.
You might even look at that Shane Bieber dude from the Indians as the MVP. He probably will win the Cy Young. I mean, he won the Triple Crown, ERA, strikeouts, and wins. So, I mean, he even might be even talked for the MVP as well as the Cy Young candidate as well in the AL.
Either one of you, is Houston on a revenge tour?
I mean, you got it. I think they are. I mean, this is the perfect scenario for them. No fans to deal with, and they can sit here and just run the table with no fans.
Right. And as a Yankees fan, I'd love to see the Yankees and Astros back in there on a revenge tour, see them meet up again and see what kind of tension might flare in that game, because they're going to be high if that happens.
Yeah. Right. I totally agree with that. And it's interesting because to me, Houston's got worse pitching this year than they had last year. And they're right now they're up 2-1 on the Astros, or on the A's. The A's won today, which I took the money line on the A's. So
I like bet the A's too. I like bet them late in the day, and I got them for plus. I got the A's too.
Nice, very nice. Tanner, last thing I got for you. Give me. This is kind of putting you on the spot. Give me your Mount Rushmore of wrestling. Who's your 4?
I got a quick 3. Stone Cold, The Rock, Ric Flair. The 4th.
It's hard. It's real hard, isn't
it? It is.
Yeah.
Because Brandon, his mirrors mine.
It does.
I know his 4th, but I know his 4th is not gonna be mine now. But his your list mirrors mine. I'm giving you some more time to think about it.
I'll go out here and I'll just throw him out there just because I feel like his in-ring performance was one of the best. I'll put Shawn Michaels in there as a fourth.
Okay.
All
right. Perfect.
Listen, there ain't no wrong answers. And like always with that fourth, when everybody comes with that fourth one, it's always like, man, you don't want to leave out the Undertaker. You don't want to leave out Andre the Giant. You want to leave out Bret Hart. But you know what I'm saying? But that's a
he left out Hogan.
Yeah.
Hey, everybody don't like Hogan.
They don't.
Hogan's in-ring work is not up to par with even Nikolai Hogan.
Right.
Okay.
Right. Yeah.
I love me some Hulk Hogan, but like let me get Hulk Hogan on a promo. I don't know if anybody's better except for maybe Ric Flair and The Rock. Yeah. That's a toss up.
Hey, I'll tell you this.
Right.
Damn near close to that, John. That Mount Rushmore, you almost got to look at Chris Jericho too. Can't leave him off that possible list.
Dude, I'm not gonna lie, Chris Jericho. It was either Chris Jericho or Shawn Michaels, and I'm not lying. Those were the two I'm about putting in there.
I love it. Hey Tanner,
Absolutely.
Thanks, buddy.
Yeah.
Let's win some money this weekend. Everybody, take the picks. We're gonna win ourselves some money. Tanner will come on next week, and we'll give out some more winners. All right.
All right. Thanks for having me on. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Tanner.
Thanks,
Yep. Bye-bye.
All right, that's Tanner Penrod, sports gambler. Knows his stuff. John knows a lot of the stats, knows a lot of the research as well. Me and him go way back, and we probably talk almost damn every week talking about sports betting. So we're gonna go another before we go to NFL. John, we got a guy that wants to eat some crow. He needs to eat some crow for his pick talk about the Colts from last week. D-Cop, you are on, my guy. The floor is yours.
What's up, guys? How y'all doing, man?
Good. How are you?
What's going on, dude?
Oh, man, I'm eating this crow, man. It's rough right now, man. It's rough. But I want to get on, man, and apologize to the coach. That defense was lights out, man. Lights out. No complaints. Lights out. I'll give them their due, man. I want to share that. I didn't want to hide. I know you got people that hide a lot, but I want to share.
Yeah, I was shocked by that game.
That's good. That's good. It's not the defense the coach is traditionally known for, right?
Right.
Coach, when you think about Mathis and you think about Freeney and them and their stack, the collections they had over those years. But D-Cop and Brandon, y'all know when y'all used to watch those old coach teams, like the running back would just kill them. Anybody that coach running back was still, whether it was Maurice Jones-Drew or I think about in their division, or the Dane Thompson. As a matter of fact, they would eat him alive.
The Super Bowl season, he hit him for 200 plus that season, and Tony Dungy said, "We'll clean the running game up and we'll be fine." And they won the Super Bowl that year.
Yeah, you gotta have, but this is the right coach to stop it. My point being with Ruckner and Leonard and Heckler, and there was a lot of questions going into the season in the secondary. And I think those questions have kind of been answered. I don't think you get necessarily eat crow, man. I know everybody didn't necessarily. It's not necessarily steel curtain or iron curtain of the coach, you know what I'm saying? But like this is the best coach defense they've had in recent years, for sure.
Well, it's the most balanced because they had two edge rushers, right? Like you said, Freeney and Mathis, guys that rush the edge. You had guys that were okay in the secondary. You had, bracket guys that were McTryhards, right? But you have about 6 guys on that defensive starting lineup now that are playmakers. You never had 6. Well, while they were in Indianapolis, anyway. I don't remember us ever having 6 playmakers. That's a big difference, right? And they're making a difference. But here's the thing. One of the things that I noticed about the Colts right now is there's uncertainty in the backfield. And they've got to tighten that up. And if the kid from Wisconsin is your guy, he has to be your guy. He can't get 8 to 12 carries and average 5 yards a carry. And the kid, not 21, but the other guy, he can't get 2 yards a carry and get more carries. So I think that, there has to be some definitive, and I'm not talking about from a fantasy perspective. I'm just talking about from a winning perspective. And if Taylor's your guy, and you feel like he is the guy who can bring it home, you need to make that happen. And I look for that to start probably this week. I wouldn't be surprised because if you looked at that game, Taylor was clearly the best running back that the Colts had on the field. So I think that may make a difference this week. We'll see what happens. But I definitely look for them to have a high-scoring game with Cleveland. It's going to be a challenge. It's going to be a challenge because Cleveland offense creates a lot of mismatches. And Chubb, standing with Chubb being gone, is almost better. And the reason why, because Kareem Hunt, 3 years ago, was your most dynamic running back, or just about, right?
Right.
So he's your starter, right? Now you got, Baker Mayfield's not going to, do anything outlandish on a skill set wise, but those two outside guys, and they've got a really good offensive line. So I look for them to score a lot of points. Not a lot of points. When I say about a lot of points, I mean probably 24, 27 points.
Okay.
But I look for the Colts to pull it out, though, man. Because, again, I think there's a stop to be made, and I think Baker Mayfield is a mistake waiting to happen.
Okay.
That's what I believe. I believe he's a mistake waiting to happen because he's a really confident guy, right? And he borderlines arrogant. They played down. Think about this. He played in high school in Jerry's world, college in Jerry's world. And all these things, right? That dude is on cloud 9 right now. And we've seen Baker Mayfield. That dude, listen, he's thinking Dallas still right now. And I got a feeling there may be something ready for him next week. We'll see.
Okay.
Baker Mayfield, let's not give him Jeff George crown just yet. Okay.
Hey, I'm gonna leave Jeff George out here. Leave my boy Jeff George out of this. Right? That's my guy. So y'all gotta leave my guy out of this, okay? Oh, that's my. They graduated high school together. He and I are ready. So leave my guy out of this. I love you guys. Leave my boy out of this.
All right. I ain't gonna pick those different.
So Colts are 2-point favorites right now in Cleveland on Sunday, 4:25 p.m. kickoff. I think it's going to be a good game. I mean, Cleveland looked really good this past week against Dallas. I mean, like I said, Dallas's record is not equivalent of how Dallas is as a team.
No, not at all. Not at all.
And Cleveland showed something. Now, the question for Cleveland, and I think all the Browns fans will even admit it, is can they string it together for multiple weeks? They have a great opportunity against the Indianapolis Colts team at home if Cleveland can get it done. I like the Colts, the 2.5. I'll give you the 2.5. I think the Colts can win by at least 3 in this game. The only problem I have, Deacon and Jonathan, with the Colts right now is some of the play calling that Frank Wright and them are doing. They lead the league. I looked this up earlier today. They lead the league on percentage of runs on second and long. Second and long as 2nd and 7 up. They lead the league on number of running plays on seconds and second longs. You're putting your offense in such a difficult situation for these third downs. I'm afraid at some point it's going to bite him if they don't start changing it up a little bit.
Well, let me ask you this. Do you think it could be because he doesn't have complete faith in Phillip Rivers throwing the ball down the field, for one? Secondly, T.Y. Hilton has gone 13 straight games, less than 100 yards receiving. He's not the player he was.
Ghost is a ghost.
I don't think that he feels the confidence that, hey, our receivers can get the job done. I think there's some doubt. I think there's and the slot is your guy, man. He's down the middle. He's your guy.
Yeah. John, your thoughts?
It's funny how things change up from quarterback to quarterback, where Mo Alley Cox last year was – not that he was a good story last year,
right?
But, you know what I'm saying? The other tight, I mean, Jack Doyle was tight end, got hurt, and like Mo Alley Cox, it made his maturity too. But he definitely had a better connection with Phillip Rivers, and that kind of makes sense, man. So Phillip Rivers, the security blanket that he always had out in San Diego, was always a tight end, right?
Right. And that's the challenge. Who was his
they
security
haven't.
blanket now?
Him and T.Y. Hilton and Phil Rivers still haven't had to make a connection.
No.
I don't know if that's going. I don't know if they can repair that in practice or with more reps or whatnot, or whenever the bye comes up or whatever. I doubt it. But I think the offense kind of figures things out as we progress. The defense, so long as the defense doesn't have to dip too far into their depth chart, the defense kind of is what's going to coach. That's what's going to carry this coach team into the playoffs.
Yep.
And to that point, that's a good point. I think going, the fifth week, I think he's saying, hey, listen, our defense is holding the line. So we can ease into what we want to do offensively. Maybe that's the thought process. I don't know. Maybe it is. But the defense is holding this into the bargain, man. And think about this. When was the last time we said the coach defense is holding their end of the bargain up?
Never. Long time, never.
Absolutely.
But here's I want to throw a couple things at you guys. I know you guys got to go. The WWE, Mount Rushmore. There's no way you're gonna put Undertaker on there. Are you crazy? If you don't put the Undertaker on there, you are crazy. Undertaker. You've got Shawn Michaels. You've got Hulk Hogan, and you've got I would say Stone Cold, because Rock just didn't have the length of time that Stone Cold did. So those are my four guys. And if you don't have the Undertaker on there, man, we got to fight. That's my dude, man. I remember from Tuesday night in Texas way back when he first came on the scene, and he was clubbing Hulk Hogan. We can talk about that one time too, man. So I'm an Undertaker dude.
I love it.
I'm an Undertaker guy. That's my great guy right there.
Guy too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm a Taker dude, man. Did you know he's on the side of mixed martial artist a little bit?
Yeah.
He works a lot of So there's a lot to him, man, more than meets the eye. So that's my four guys right there. I just wanted to share that, man. I did not want to miss that. I was listening to the guy before. Yeah.
I appreciate it.
And also the Alabama. And tell you this, the Alabama game, take the under. It's not about Nick Saban not wanting to run a score up against his assistants. He doesn't like doing that anyway, man. Look at the game the first week against Missouri. And of course, I'm an Alabama fan. Up 35-3 with 4 minutes gone in the third quarter. You win 38-19. Listen, man, and I'll say this again. Ohio State, 2014, national semifinal game. We're up 2 touchdowns, and they beat us because we took the foot off the brake, man. He does not like running the score up against anyone.
There we go.
And that was the problem in 2014. And I'm telling you, take the under, and I would probably, depending on the weather, I'd probably take Ole Miss and the money line. I mean, not the money line, Ole Miss and the point.
Okay.
That's my 2 cents.
All right, perfect. D-Cop, brother, thanks for calling again, my man. We'll see you next week.
No doubt. You guys be safe, okay?
All right. Hey. What was the score prediction? What was the score prediction for your Colts?
Let's see. You know what? Colts aren't going to score a lot, man, because of that receiving core. I say Colts going to win. I say Colts 24-21 in a nail biter, man.
All right. We'll see if we have to eat crow next week. Hopefully not. So.
No doubt.
All right.
I'll be back next week no matter what.
See you
guys.
See you.
Absolutely.
All right, John. That was that was D-Cot there with his eating crow for his last week calls. Yeah, make some good points. This Colts team, it's John. To me, that was a boring game on Sunday. Watching that, I had to turn it off. I was tired of watching.
Man,
it seemed so boring.
That's the game from 1987 with all these daggone field goals.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, John, we got a little bit of time before we have to wrap tonight. I may have to wrap a few minutes early, but we're going to quick run through some NFL notes real quick. If you're on the line, just stay tuned with us. Take some NFL quick thoughts, and then I want to hit NASCAR real quick, and then obviously finish with Walking Dead. So we'll roll through NFL real quick. We've got some time, probably about I'm going to say 15 minutes to roll on NFL. Odell Beckham, John, we talked a little bit about it. Browns beat the Cowboys. Cowboys 1-3. Browns look good. Dallas tried to make it a comeback.
My personal opinion is Mike McCarthy needs to figure out what the hell's going on with defense. Okay? The offense is fine. Okay? Or, well, it's slow start. How about that? But once it gets clicking, it gets clicking. But, like, this defense, there's no way with that roster that he has put together, what they've assembled, and that they should have been, the Cleveland should have been in a game with them. I couldn't believe how big they were on them. Did I know they were going to come back? I didn't. I thought Cleveland was, I didn't think they would come back, that close. But
right.
I don't know, man. It's still. Now here's the crazy thing. So this is what we can't lose our minds about, Dallas Cowboys fans. I know we got some out there listening. Willie Martin, right? The division leader has won one game and one tie.
Yeah, the Giants. Giants 0-4 and one game back.
Right, and the Eagles are at the top of the board at 1-1-2. I do believe are 1-1-1.
Yeah.
Anyway, the Eagles are terrible. Okay. Dallas is and then how can we forget the Sentinels? I'm sorry, they haven't officially named the Sentinels yet. How can we forget about the team in Washington? The coach, who man, powerful as he is, man, he's over here taking IVs, right? Because he's fighting a battle with cancer. He's also running a program he doesn't believe in has to.
And Kyle Allen now is the quarterback.
Yeah, he's already been tested. I think the early pool, but hey man, they're trying to win. They ain't trying to just wait for developmental guys to like develop. You know what I mean? Haskins, they're not waiting for that. So it's still a winnable division. The Cowboys should still win the division, man. They just got to get together. McCarthy should be on he's not gonna be on the hot seat to get fired, but he should be on the hot seat to with his boss. Like why are we winning games? Why can't we beat teams that we should be dominating over?
Right. Speaking of the NFC least, not in the East, John, there's been 4 games, and the New York Football Giants have only scored 3 touchdowns all season in 4 games. 3 touchdowns. But I want you to know, we have a race going on. We have a race going on in the NFL I didn't even know about. The race for Trevor Lawrence. And I think right now it's just a 2-team race between the Giants and the Jets. Because they both are terrible. And the Jets are going to Joe Flacco as their head coach or as their starting quarterback.
Yeah.
Adam Gase looks lost as hell. He looked terrible the other night when they took on the Broncos. Real quick, we're going to bring him on just because we're talking the topic. My guy, Sweet Lou, what's up with these Jets, man?
Yeah. So you're going to go from youth to a dinosaur. Now, Flacco was a dinosaur.
Yeah.
I mean, he's not the same Joe Flacco that won a Super Bowl for the Ravens back 150 years ago. I don't think that's going to go over too well. And I'm surprised Gay still has a job. I mean, I thought by last week when they just played so poorly towards the end, that this was going to be curtains for him, but they're still keeping him.
Yeah.
Can somebody explain that? How can Gay still be there? I mean, one coach did get fired this week, and he wasn't even as bad as Gase, but still.
Yeah, I thought Gase or Dan Quinn would be one of the first ones fired this year. And that didn't happen. But yeah, hey, what do you think? What's the word over there on the East Coast? The fact you got both New York teams racing for Trevor Lawrence.
Well, every time we seem to get a good quarterback, then we get Jets, it doesn't go well. I mean, we picked Sam Darnold, didn't do anything, and when the Giants, got their latest player, he did well in his first 2 games, Jones. But then after that, he just tanked, and the Giants are still suffering this season. So I thought last year was bad. They were 4-12. They had their worst season in 42 years. This season might even top that.
Yeah, and I think Joe Judge. I think he gets a pass. I think he gets a pass the first year, just the fact you lost your star player with Saquon going out with the torn ACL. But Yeah, man. Jets are turning. The fact they're going away from Darnold. Like, there's no coming back from that, is there, guys? You can't come back to him now.
Oh, not unless my man gets hurt. I think they kind of deserve to try to lose the rest of this season. But see, just getting Trevor Lawrence is not going to cure their ills.
No,
you know what I'm saying. Going further, he's a better quarterback, obviously, better quarterback prospect, obviously than Sam Darnold. I don't know if they don't get number 1 overall pick. That's then if they say you get number 2 or number 3, right? Based on how things kind of bounce out. Then I don't know, Brandon and Sweet Lou. I think they kind of trade out. They need to build a better team.
You don't think they would go after Justin Fields?
They need to build a better team. And the only way you can do that is get multiple picks and talent. And they need to build a better team. They need better defense, linebacker play. They need better quarterback play. They need more than just a quarterback. If you put the quarterback out there, he's gonna get his brains beat out if the offensive line can't protect him.
Right.
There's a special quarterback talent. We know this in this particular draft, though. So like, how you turn away from that, like with the plan that I kind of said, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Because again, like you said, Justin Fields and Trevor Lawrence are top of the crop. Where the guy that we kind of talked about earlier, Trey Lance, is like, yeah, maybe we can, you know what I mean? But like, you don't want to just run your risk of drafting him secondarily when you could have had Justin Fields or Trevor Lawrence, and these dudes turned out to be, you know what I'm saying, the goods next to Hall of Fame Patty Mills. It's good they, you know what I mean?
And don't forget,
you know what I mean?
They could have handed the bag to Cam Newton this offseason. They had all the opportunity in the world to bring Cam into the Jets.
Yeah, you definitely would have got better quarterback play out of Cam. That's for sure. The whole NFL slept on Cam though. That's for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Sweet Lou, we got to kind of run, but you want to do a quick plug?
Yeah, the Enhanced Sports Show. We're on Saturdays 5 to 7 East Coast time. The number to call is 512-543-4662. The number again, 512-543-4662. And we're going to talk about the NFL this week. Believe me, we will. Plus all of the baseball playoffs. Hopefully at the end of the NBA Finals, unless it goes to 7 games, but we'll see about that. This coming week. So if you got time, please call.
All right, appreciate it. Thanks, Lou. Have a good one. All right, John. That's our East Coast guy, Sweet Lou from New Jersey, big Jets guy. And it was perfect timing that he called through, and we were talking to Jets and Giants and that whole travesty going on there. John, Steelers. My Steelers didn't play. Titans. COVID test. Titans are still having COVID tests possible. So it came a bye week for Pittsburgh. So now Pittsburgh has no bye weeks. They got to play 13 straight weeks without a bye. They play the Eagles this Sunday. It's going to be on national television, Sunday afternoon. Steelers, Eagles in Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh heavy favorites. I think the week did well to get Big Ben. They kind of worked on a few things where they were struggling. It got Deontay Johnson, got him ready. He's healthy again. Juju's ready to go. The defense is looking great. I'm expecting good things. It's going to be a battle all season, as we talked about previously with them in Baltimore.
Yeah, if they can get the season out, you know what I'm saying. I know they still, you know what I'm saying, talks about. Well, they did update their COVID-19 protocols. The NFL did, but there's probably going to be another update on top of that. I don't know, man. Steelers look good. There's no way I would bet against them.
And what's your thoughts? What's your thoughts on the way the Titans have handled this COVID thing? Obviously, we got to talk COVID tests. You know, these positive tests coming up, games possibly being switched or canceled or whatnot. The Titans, it came out today that there's video footage of them practicing on a field when they were supposed to be quarantining as a team. The NFL's got to start. They have to start like forfeiting these games, right? If you're not going to listen.
Yeah, we'll see how hard-handed that mandate kind of comes down. Yeah.
Tough one for Cam Newton and the Patriots, right? Because they're getting ready to play the defending champions. Cam tests positive for COVID, and then they go to Kansas City and play the game where they were in it until Brian Hoyer took them out of it, essentially. It didn't make a Steelers fan and a Colts fan happy to kind of see the frustration from Belichick and Josh McDaniels on the sideline when those two plays happened. It was perfect, but not only did the Cam have COVID, but now it's been tested that Stephen Gilmore, the cornerback who played in the game, tested positive for COVID. And I sent you a picture this morning. He was hugging Patty Mahomes after the game.
Yeah, if I'm in Kansas City, I'll put Patty Mahomes in a quarantine bubble. Kansas City's kind of shown that they can win games without Patty Mahomes. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to lose Patty Mahomes or potentially have him spread into other people on the team. Whether he's, you know what I'm saying? I would just put him in a bubble right now. You know, and I'm obviously everybody's gonna get, you know, saying tested. Oh man, I don't know, man. I hope the NFL's got a plan.
Yeah, so do I.
You know what I'm saying?
Moving on, John, real quick. I'm gonna do our second ad read. We have to put our sponsors in here: State Farm Insurance, Scott K. Nichols, State Farm. Do a quick ad read, then we'll finish up with a little NASCAR and a little entertainment news with The Walking Dead. We'll be right back.
Dave always wore the same gray shirt to work every day. Monday through Friday, gray, gray, gray. Then one day, Dave decided to switch things up and wear that Hawaiian shirt his mother gave him. And that's when Wendy and accounting took notice. You can make a difference when you switch things up too. Switch and save an average of $536 by calling your local State Farm agent today. To switch and save on your auto insurance, call State Farm agent Scott K. Nichols in Indianapolis today at 317-243-3509. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
All right, we are back. Thank you to our sponsors, Scott K. Nichols and State Farm Insurance. Get your quote today from them. John, NASCAR was at Talladega this week. Playoffs were continuing. Wild race, as it always is on the restrictor plates, whether it be at Talladega or Daytona. Denny Hamlin got the win. A little bit of controversy going below the double yellow line there on the pass, but some monster wrecks towards the end of that race.
It was explained to me that the yellow line is like the forced out line, like the NFL used to have.
Yep.
Or sort of, and you have to use cautionary. The reporters kind of asked Denny Hamlin, did he think it was fair? I kind of wanted to get your thoughts kind of about the whole, that whole rule. I mean, the racing guys don't like it?
It's what? More of a safety rule. The fact that if you get low enough to pass and you're at some point you go below the line, you're going to have to come up the line, right? Well, not all the cars on the track are going to give you space, and it's going to cause a huge wreck and, possibly even, could hurt somebody based on that.
Correct.
But where the fact of NASCAR's rule is the fact that if you are being forced down or there's a move that's forcing you below that line, you can go below that yellow line and then safely come back up. The rule is, like, if you go below it, John, you cannot improve your position if you go below it on your own. Now, if you go to what Denny did was Denny was trying to stay away from a crash that was happening in front of him, so that's why he went low. Was it controversy? It could have been. I had money on Denny Hamlin to win that race, so I was happy to see him win. I feel so bad for Matthew Benedetto. That guy has been working his ass off for these last couple of years. He finally got a good car and race with the Wood brothers this year. He's had three chances to win a race, and it just hasn't worked out. This was one of them. And you can see how emotional he was after the race. He really wanted that one bad. He doesn't have a ride for next year, so he's trying to play for race for a contract, and it's going to be fun, interesting to see. But yeah, Denny went below the line. I felt like though he was kind of not pushed completely down there, but enough to where there was some contact in front of him that it was okay for him to go down there. Great race though, came right to the start finish line.
Absolutely.
So looked great there. Also, NASCAR wise, Haley Deegan, John. I don't know if you know the name Haley Deegan, but I want you to start learning her name. She was a modified racer, and she's worked her way up. She's beaten all the boys in these modified races, and now she just got called up to the Truck Series. So in a couple of weeks, she's going to be racing in the Truck Series here at Kansas Motor Speedway. And we'll see how she does in the trucks. She's done it before and ran decently. She could be a name to move up into NASCAR before long, so into the big boy races. And she could probably beat the big boys. She's got a great sponsor. She has the great look. She's sponsored by Monster Energy. And she's got all the right tools to be successful if she goes into NASCAR. So John, one last thing I got for you on NASCAR wise. So Bubba Wallace crashed twice. Just stupidity out there, trying things he shouldn't have tried. He even admitted it afterwards. Stupidity. My question to you, John, it was reported this week that Kyle Larson possibly could be coming back to NASCAR, getting reinstated. If those of you that don't know or didn't follow, he was suspended and fired from his team back in April during an iRace. He he used the N-word kind of loosely, or even used it in general, and it was caught on there. Do you feel personally, John, with you being a member of the Black community, are you okay with him coming back to NASCAR, or do you feel like it still has to sit out and to make a point and to prove a point? What's your take on that?
Well, there's obviously the temperature of the climate of the world is that we have a cancel culture and like nobody can get a second chance. Obviously, I would assume NASCAR, with it being trying to bring a bigger brand, and even using Bubba Wallace in marketing, you know what I'm saying, to bring in a different type of diverse fans, and even Michael Jordan, as we kind of share on our Instagram page, on the Crossroads Sports Instagram page, and even on Twitter handle. If you don't know, Michael Jordan is a co-owner of a team now, going for start next year, right? So he's got the best draft. He's got Hamlin advising the team, right?
Right.
So so again, man, there's going to be more diversity than it is what that particular driver said going further, if you catch my drift. So if either, you know what I'm saying, he either can, I'm not saying, tuck his pride. Yeah, I'm saying tuck whatever. If he still harbors that type of stuff in his heart, shame on him. But he still got to eat. And he, you know what I'm saying, I know he didn't come up to all the, you know what I'm saying, you tell me about the little lady and how she's had to come up through the ranks of being a driver. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, if you're going to let the slip of the tongue harbor you from making what your dream, you know what I'm saying? Or, you know what I'm saying? Again, shame on you. So hopefully he's learned his lesson. And, I'm not going to cancel anybody, to be honest with you. I will look at you a little differently. You know what I mean?
Right.
Going further, but like NASCAR, you know what I'm saying? I'm sure he'll make a statement. I'm sure NASCAR will make a statement as well. It'll be, and they'll kind of go further. He won't make that statement. He won't make that comment or comments like that out openly anymore. And like I said, I think his passion for driving it kind of outweighs what he said. So that's where he's at right now.
Okay. PGA this week, they're at the Shriners Open. Yes, it's Shriners, John. I did hear that on
I said Shriners.
Bryson right now is the favorite to win. To be honest, I haven't looked at the field in golf. I've actually kind of taken a break from golf a little bit, watching it, prepping for the Masters. I'll be ready for the Masters in November.
I did a little deep dive, not a deep dive. I did a little. I was in the team pool part of this particular. DeChambeau is the favorite, but like the dark horse is Wolf and Morikawa.
Yep. Okay. I also like Paul Casey. I do know Paul Casey's competing this week, so. But yeah, I think Wolf and Morikawa definitely top guys. Also Bryson. I mean, hell, he just won the U.S. Open, so everybody right now is in just prep mode, trying to get ready for the Masters. It's in Augusta, as always, in November, so that'll be a good one to see. Sorry if I'm gonna sneeze.
Right.
Whew. But that'll be in November. Looking forward to that and the transformation they've done to the course, because usually that course is done in like after April, and they kind of shut it off. But they had to bring in a lot more grass. They've had to swap things out. It looks magnificent though already, so they've been working hard over there. Last thing I got, John, I got to play the soundbite for it. It's been a while since we've done it. Walking Dead, John. Walking Dead was back. Oh my God, we had the season 10 finale Sunday night, and then there was a new show. John, what was your thoughts on season 10 finishing, man? I thought it was a great finish. I got a little emotional back when Maggie hugged Judith. If you haven't watched it, spoiler alert. Sorry, by the way. But then the fact that I didn't expect Beta to die that quick.
Yeah, you thought you get a little bit more bigger battle from out of Beta. It comes to find out Beta's actually a famous person in that Walking Dead world, like a country music singer or something like that. And I don't know, yeah, I thought it was kind of creepy how they killed him, though, and like then he becomes one. I don't know, man. He was creepy anyway, but he becomes one with the dead. It's crazy, man. I thought it was a good episode. Not a great episode. I thought it was a good episode. They always figure out a way how to, get out of the tight jam, and everybody, like I said, most of everybody in this particular episode, the good guys, right, came out on top.
Who's the samurai guy?
Say what now?
Who's the samurai guy that saved the preacher?
Oh man, they gonna keep that. I don't. Is it more? Didn't Morgan have a son?
I thought he did. Yeah, he went to save him. I thought.
Yeah, they're teasing that might be Morgan. I don't know. I'll be on the Walking Dead message boards too, man. Sorry, I do nerd out. I nerd out a little bit sometimes, man. But like some people are thinking that might be Morgan's son, or I don't know.
Okay, what's your thoughts on the new show?
The new show is crazy.
I watched it.
Did you see the helicopter people come back?
I did.
They're not good people.
No. I thought Rick was going. I thought Rick was going to be teaching at the school. That's what I was waiting for.
Okay. I see the transition. So like, looks like Rick's gonna show up on this new show because he's with them. He's with the helicopter people.
Oh yeah, I like their guns though. Their weapons. Those are pretty cool.
Man, yeah, they still can't. But like, why are they killing regular people? Why wouldn't they just want to? Why are they killing? I don't. They seem like the helicopter people seem to be like regular civilization trying to get back, and wanting everybody to be like the United States, this is Walking Dead world,
Right.
But they're not. They're not even wanting to use these people for experimentation, as we've seen in other past seasons of Walking Dead when you have outsiders, come in contact. It's crazy, man.
Yeah.
I'm more excited about this new show than I am. Once Walking Dead comes on.
By the way, we gotta wait till next year. We have to wait till next year for the next season to start. I thought the damn season was going to start this next week. We got to wait till 2021.
Man, you blame COVID everything. COVID shut down Marvel. COVID has shut down AMC.
But apparently it's going to be the entire – they got 2 seasons into one pretty much with some extra episodes that they're going to do. And then these spinoff shows and then Rick's movies that are going to be coming out. So
I'm ready for it.
Looking forward to it. Real quick, I want to thank everybody for joining us today. I want to thank people that talk on the Facebook page, watching us here. Hello. I want to thank our callers, Fred Feltner, Dean Cott, Tanner calling in. We're talking sports betting. I want to thank Sweet Lou for calling New Jersey. Been another great show. Episode will be available on iTunes later this evening. It'll also be available on the Facebook page, video format and audio format. John, we could have went another hour diving a little bit deeper into football, college and pro, but what a 2-hour show.
I told them 2 hours of awesomeness packed in. 2 hours of awesomeness packed into a sports show, man. That's what I said on the pre-show, man. Just want to thank again to our sponsor, Scott K. Nichols State Farm Insurance. Next week's show is going to be even action-packed. As we teased a whole lot of wrestling today, but I'll tell everybody, spoiler alert, we'll have independent wrestler Danny Limelight will be on the show talking with us next week for sure. Right?
Perfect. I'm looking forward to that. Danny Limelight joining the show. We're going to talk everything, I guess. I got to start my prep work. Got to start it tonight.
Start your prep work, man. Other than that, man, I just want to thank everybody who watched the pre-show, everybody who called in tonight. Me and Brandon going to keep on rocking and rolling, not to be too corny, man, but like I said, we're going to keep on rocking and rolling, and thanks to everybody for listening.
Real quick, Lakers, LeBron, do they clinch it Friday night?
I think Miami got one more in us.
All right, perfect. Thanks, everybody, for listening. We'll see you guys again next week.
Thanks for listening to the Crossroads Sports Radio Show. You can find more episodes on iTunes and the Google Play Store. Be sure to like and subscribe for more Crossroads Sports.
90 seconds